Colorado, out. Maine, out. They got a few more left. That's going to happen. How ugly could this get? The reason why I ask this question, I don't know if you guys have followed this story or not. This year is the biggest election year in the history of the world. Election year. 40 elections happen at the same time. The largest Christian nation, the two largest Muslim nations, all at the same time. 40-plus countries, 3.2 billion people will be voting this year. Will be allowed to vote this year. $44 trillion of GDP all this year, right? So we're talking Pakistan, election this year. India, election this year. U.S., election this year. Belgium, I can go on. There's 40 countries, elections this year, right? Yeah. When there is so many, things going on, the people who have had control behind closed doors that we don't know, what do they fear? They fear losing control, okay? And the number one piece amongst all these 40 elections going on around the world, 3.2 billion people potentially voting, the number one domino, not the second domino, the number one domino is a guy named Donald Trump, okay? So if he gets elected, the people who control can't control him.
Correct.
Because a lot of these other guys can be controlled. So for a voter that's sitting there, I looked at Vox, came out and said 55% chance Trump's going to be the president. Vox is not a conservative side. They're liberal. They're predicting, saying 55% chance Trump's going to end up being president this year. So walk us through. I call 2023 the year of investigations. I called this a year and a half ago. It was all investigations 2023. I'm calling this the year of chaos. I think it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
How crazy, how chaotic could it get? Or do you think, no, it's going to be pretty, temper tantrums. Oh, so Nevada's coming out and they're going to, coming out there. They're just yapping and screaming and hollering. Or could it actually get very, very ugly for the American people to brace for impact?
I mean, I wish I could give, this is what I always say. Look, I know a lot more facts than I can share. And the facts are good. So meaning the witch hunts, let's start there, right? So the number one way that we've seen them try and take him down, the chess piece, is through legal cases. And that is what I know. And without getting into facts that I know that'll come out, it's no different than any other case. When you know the facts as an attorney, and you know what actually happened behind closed doors, and you know what he did and didn't do, not what the press is saying he did, not what the Jack Smiths are saying he did or want you to believe he did. The real facts, the fear level comes down a lot. Then it becomes very simple. We have to be able to fight a corrupt organization. That's what it is. It's corrupt. And that's where my fear only lies, in that I'm in front of judges that we can give them the facts and they are clean. Look at my last trial I just ended. But if you have a judge who wants to get Trump, wants to take him down, wants to be a part of taking the chess piece down. If you have this Maine woman, I don't even know her name. That's how little I care. What's her name? Whatever. You have this woman wanting to be a lawyer, wanting to be a part of this liberal radical movement. And we don't have the ultimate court, the Supreme Court, check these people. That's when we're in trouble. But I do still have faith in the Supreme Court. So I think that right now for Donald Trump, for taking that piece off, it all goes, frankly, up to the Supreme Court, because everything we're talking about is election interference.
Thank God, yeah.
Listen, there is.
Techman.
Oh, what a genius.
No. Go ahead. Please finish. I want to finish your thoughts and I have a follow-up for you.
Yeah. But I think that we have to remember that everything we're worried about with Trump is legal. There's a reason his lawyer is his spokeswoman. It's because it's all being used in courts and through laws, Constitution. It all goes up to the Supreme Court. And I really believe there is a checks and balances that still exists in this country. The executive branch, is one person, but we all know that there's 100 other people behind it right now. But the Supreme Court stands independently. And that's on purpose. And that's the way our founding fathers created it. So I believe that they will handle it. I believe that, look, what Jack Smith just got shut down. He was trying to rush. They said, nope. So as long as they stay firm, I have no fear. Because I will not win every case. Let me be very clear. You cannot. You cannot. You have people that are not listening to what you're saying. I'll get in court and I will say there were no victims. Deutsche Bank made money. Letitia James is using a completely inappropriate statute. Here's the facts, and here's a Nobel executive expert who's going to tell you that this is complete BS. And the judge will go, no, that's fine. I'm going to lose. That's fine. But I need the Supreme Court to be the one that has the reason, the one that holds America together right now. That's where I think this country needs to be strong.
Okay. By the way, just think about it. So Trump's first president that flips 3 seats, right?
Yeah.
Say he doesn't.
That's what I was just going to ask.
If he doesn't flip those 3 seats, you're asked out.
Yeah.
Literally, right? I
mean,
if
screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed. There's nothing, by the way, nothing he can. So paint a picture. Say the Supreme Court is, 6-3 the other way around, whatever, 5-4, 6-3 the other way around, okay? And you don't have any protection there. How ugly could it have gotten for the president if Supreme Court was the other way, flipped 6-3?
Look, if they have it their way, they would have him in jail.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
if you need me to say it, I'll say it. It's absolutely true. They would have him in jail because they can't. The movement, the American movement, it's not a MAGA movement. It's an American movement. It's people afraid of losing our country. And it's a movement because I'm scared. I'm scared of what I've seen, and that is the problem. And that's why they get behind Trump. So if you can't beat him, if you're worried that stealing an election may get screwed up, what else do? You put your opponent in jail. And that's, you tell me that Jack Smith, Fannie, D.A. Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, you tell me that those people wouldn't have a private party if Donald Trump was in jail.
Of course.
That's sick.
Overnight.
That's sick.
Right, but go there, so now flip it. So strategy, let's talk about strategy, is they're not dumb, right? So they know they don't have Supreme Court. They know it. They don't have it, right?
Right.
So you're pushing Maine, Colorado. Are they celebrating, saying, "Oh, look what we did! Oh, we impeached the president. He's the most impeached president of all time." Hey, look at Colorado, Maine, try to remove off the ballot, but you failed. Are they thinking that that's helping them? Are they that dumb to think that going about trying to get them off Maine and Colorado, but failing is a victory? Like, they're not dumb. These are not dumb manipulators. So how do they see that as a victory, knowing Supreme Court doesn't have their back? Well,
that's the thing. I don't think that they're all working in tandem all the time. I think the individual from Maine was not being very bright, to be honest. I think that was a silly move, and it's going to flip people. Colorado, I mean, the minute they said he was off the ballot, the reaction is, oh, we could win Colorado. Like, they're not understanding. I don't know. You're right, they're not dumb. But I think their point is to disrupt and concern and make everyone scared that this person's a predator. He's a fraudster with banks. He's a this, he's a that. Insurrectionist. I have a trial coming up. Same thing. They're going to do the woman card again. And it's like, they just don't stop. Now, again, another funded lawsuit. Yep. Reid Hoffman funding that lawsuit.
LinkedIn,
he funded the first one, and then I think he dropped out or whatever. But this is all legal warfare. At the end of the day, they aren't that bright because people want to make a name for themselves. And I think they thought they were I'll be honest with you. I think they thought we're all going to do it. We're going to attack and we're going to make it happen before the 2024 election. These cases are years and years old. They're from when he was president, some of them. And Georgia, for instance. You waited years. Letitia James, 3 years I've been on that case. That case was in a special proceeding for 3 years. The minute they filed the complaint, they wanted the case in 6 months. So they want to destroy credibility in his business, which is where everybody has confidence in President Trump because the country was run like a business. They want to destroy him with women. My Bergdorf Goodman case coming up. He'll get, money damages, another judge that's anti-Trump. We will see the whole thing. And then they want to destroy him criminally, make you believe he's a criminal and anti-American, insurrectionist, anti-American. They want to hit him on all fronts. And by the way, we don't even know what the October surprise is going to be. I feel like I've been in an October surprise for a year. But they're trying to hit you so that you lose faith in him. But what they're forgetting is you're so obvious that we have more faith in him because he hasn't quit. I would have quit. I mean, he has not quit. He has not come down. He has not stopped talking. He has not become more reserved. He is who he is. And I'm not worried in that regard. But I'm telling you, they would try and put him in jail.
Rob, can you pull up that article? The first article we covered 2 days ago, that America wants a strong, tough, you know which one I'm talking about. If you just type that, it'll come up. So a story came out. Left, right, center doesn't matter. Only reason I'm showing this to you is because some of the people that are going to watch this podcast, okay, go lower. And so look at this chart here. Across the political spectrum, Americans seek tough leaders who will crack down. Okay, so you'll see the dark green, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. And then you'll see on the left, the categories they have a strong Democrat, not strong, lean Democrat, independent, lean Republican, etc., all the way to the bottom. Obviously, all the way to the bottom, what do you notice? 90% agree that America seeks a tough leader that will crack down, okay, all the way at the bottom. A strong Democrat, though, is still 59%.
Yeah.
They strongly agree or agree, okay? Only 42% disagree and strongly disagree. By the way, that is catastrophic. Nothing about this category represents Joe Biden, because if you go all the way to the top of the article, go all the way to the top of the article. So it says, what are the key words? Strong. Biden is not strong. Rough. Biden is not rough except when he's going down the stairs. Anti-democratic leader. Okay, they would call Biden a democratic leader, let's just say. And the way they wrote this article, obviously it's a little bit of a wordsmithing and kind of manipulation that's going with it. But do you think America's kind of sitting there saying, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You think even some of the people on the left are sitting there saying, what do you think you're doing to this guy? Like, we don't even like the guy, but you're making us like the guy.
They're making us like
You're making us like the guy that we didn't like, 4 or 5 years ago. You think that's kind of happened in America?
A lot of people say that to me all the time. Like, we were on the fence, or we were left and now we're not. And you see that a lot with especially minorities or people that feel like they're unfairly prosecuted and come into this country from other countries where they've seen the banana republic. A lot of those people, like my family, get more behind Trump because we know where this is going. We know where this is going. Now, it's not a joke, TikTok destroying our children's mentality and lack of strong home base, lack of faith is destroying our culture. And once you dismantle all of that, we're easily manipulated. And we believe that a man that can't walk and eats ice cream is not being backed by Obama, who's still in Washington. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy person. I'm not. But I'm not a stupid person. And I know that man can't run the country. And I know when Epstein's list comes out and one name's blacked out and Bill Clinton's been doing, we saw it yesterday.
He likes them young.
He likes them young. Why are they not in jail? You're a pedophile. That's called a pedophile.
Yep.
So this is where our country is headed. And I do think that people that come from other countries that were not necessarily wealthy or came from third world countries and come to this country the right way, by the way.
Yeah.
When they come to this country the right way, they appreciate what we have and they're afraid of losing it and they're holding on to it strong and they realize Donald Trump's the only way we're going to keep it.
So, and
You
Alina,
said real quick, because on this thing, you said a key word right there, and I don't want to skip it. You said manipulated. Because I feel like a lot of people in America feel like they've been manipulated. Let me unpack that. They say like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I feel like there's a lot of people in America, especially swing voters.
A president in the past said it in a different way, and I thought it was more entertaining.
Fool me once. I can't get fooled again.
can't get it. You know what I'm saying,
Shout
everybody. War criminal, but go ahead.
Shout out to Colin for that one. But I feel like a lot of people in America feel like they've been fooled, and they're not going to let it happen again. What do I mean? We all know what the media has done. And a lot of this has basically sort of been exasperated since COVID, whether it's the jab, whether it's, trust the science, whether it's Fauci, whether it's what's going on the woke left, whether we're seeing going on with Hamas and the Hamas brigade going on out there, whether it's the trans stuff, all this with the feminism, everything. I feel like there's just a lot of just normal Americans, people that have voted for George W. Bush, that have voted for Biden, that have voted, for Obama, that have voted for Trump. They flip. Americans are bipolar. Every 4 to 8 years, they vote for somebody else.
But that's
There's
okay.
a lot of them, totally fine.
Yeah. It's the American way.
I mean, I'm talking about the people in Michigan, talking
Right.
about the people in Pennsylvania, the people in Wisconsin, swing states, battleground states. I feel like there's a lot of people basically saying, you guys got me the first time on Trump. All the Mexicans are raping. Okay. You know, all the stuff that they put out there, all, good people on both sides, all the media. I feel like they're hip to the game now.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're looking at the situation right now and they're like, not a fan of Trump necessarily, the personality, what have you, but what I'm seeing over here on the left, I just can't condone. And I mean, I'm one of those people who are like,
Yeah.
But I feel like at this point, we do see that we're losing our values. We're
He
losing our
campaigned for
country.
Joe Biden just 3 years ago.
In a dress. Nonetheless.
Yeah, not just nonetheless.
I never campaigned for anybody. Zero. I don't love any politics.
By the way, I don't like politics.
Yeah, I don't.
Can
I don't.
be
I
honest?
don't bow to any politics
No.
whatsoever.
But it's
it's a part of our
But it's
country. She has to
by the
know
way,
the truth, Pat.
But you may be the most important person at the table.
Always.
Because
I mean, go ahead.
we did a $1,000 bet on who was going to win the election last time, and he voted and he won in 2020. Just so you know.
Wow.
So yeah, that's so for him to go from there to where he's at now.
That's exactly what I'm
That's
talking
the
about.
point of
To be
America.
clear, I followed the money. The odds were Joe Biden was the favorite. Whoever the favorite is in Vegas, I'm going to take
Yeah.
Vegas.
Okay. So if you're going to hang on, so you're going to say something like that. Now you're going to be held accountable. Hang on a second. Fine. So did you?
wasn't a
did it-
Trump
no. Wait a minute. You followed the money because of Vegas odds. Great. But did you also vote the same way with Vegas odds?
Yes.
Yes. So you also voted. That's not following the money. You can follow the money and vote the other way if it's just about the money. You also didn't want to vote for Trump.
Thank you, Pat, for bringing it up for the 1,000th time. I really
Well,
appreciate
because
that, Pat.
publicly,
No,
I gave you
Especially in front of
$1,000
Trump's
bucks.
spokeswoman.
Okay, I gave you $1,000 on a
$10,000 for
Yeah.
that bet. Follow the money.
but the point-
thank you. I'm sure
but
the
the-
audience
the
have no
point-
But if
idea.
you follow the money now, Hunter Biden's money goes right into Biden.
Yeah.
I would like to party with that guy,
FYI,
but other than that,
FYI, the whole point is
yes.
millions of people, believe it or not, feel like he does.
I agree.
I'm telling you, millions of
agree.
people feel like he does.
And it's because of what they're doing.
It's because
So
of what
thank
they're
you.
doing. Yeah.
But that's my point. That's the point that I'm
Yeah.
making is there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like either of them. I mean, look, let's be clear. Nobody wants to see a Trump-Biden rematch. I'm just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
But based on this rematch, there's a lot of people being like, I'll take Trump.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They'll hold their nose.
I don't
You've
think
heard
it'll
this
be
thing.
Biden. I don't trust them that it'll be Biden.
Everyone says that.
I
And
don't.
they-
It
won't
and everyone's going to keep
Sneaky,
saying that.
sneaky.
And then in November, you're going to have a choice of Biden, Trump.
Yeah, well, and Lina, and we're still being in this. When
By
you
the
hear
way, look at the odds there. Trump is
Trump
one
moved
now.
up. Yeah.
Biden's 2.
Remember, look
Haley's
at Gavin.
3.
You remember how Gavin's
And
moving up?
Newsom,
By the way,
this is
snake-
Vegas.
The
But
snake
by the
is
way,
moving.
Biden was number one until literally today.
Yeah, no. Well,
we haven't
Michelle
seen
is
this list.
sixth. Michelle is
Michelle
sixth.
is still in the mix. So Lina, in regards to, we keep hearing election interference.
Yeah.
When you hear that, and I love doing this, it's called cheating. okay?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm tired of hearing election
Complaining.
interference. And by the way, the left has been doing it. And say what you want, they always blame our side. Russian collusion they tried with the DNC with Hillary.
Don't
fake
even get me
impeachment.
started
Don't
on
even get me. All the impeachment, all that BS crap. Okay, if this tactic that they're doing right now with everything that you're involved with fails, and he's allowed to be on the ballot, the left plays to win. They'll stop at nothing. What other tactic or tactics do you think they would use? Because we saw the movie Leave the World Behind. It's almost like they're letting us know cyber attack might happen. They've warned us about pandemic number 2.
the China virus number 2.
Yeah, China virus number 2. What's the other?
So
and by the
scare
way,
tactics.
Open border. So if a terrorist attack, if it comes
And they're going to
down-
vote, by the way. Those are-
1,000%.
all those migrants are voting.
Like 1,000%.
Yeah.
So, Lina, if it
Ridiculous.
comes down to it where they're like, oh, crap, none of the stuff with the law is working and we're getting close, do you think that they are willing to pull the trigger on something else to disrupt the election?
People have told me you should be worried that they're going to actually try and kill him.
I was just going to ask you that, too. How scared is he? How worried is he? Because
he's not.
He's not, because he has his own security, correct?
But it's not about security. It's about, you don't think people have been trying that for, I mean, now since
doesn't give me the vibes. He doesn't give me
2015,
the vibes.
he is not a fearful man, right? He's not. At the end of the day, it's not about how much security he has. Look, if somebody wants to hurt somebody, they will.
Yeah.
I've had people try and kill me. I mean, I'm his lawyer. Oh yeah. You know, crazy people writing letter. I'm going to kill you when I get out of jail.
Yeah.
I'm going to come after you. And this guy raped and killed a 5-year-old. He's in some Tennessee jail. Jeez. You know, I've had to file a criminal. It's crazy the world we're in right now. But that's my point. Like, desperation makes you crazy. So I don't think they'll stop at anything. I think that at the end of the day, they will, like I said, try and put him in jail. They'll try anything they can, but more importantly, it's our election integrity that concerns me. Because let's say he's still on the ballot. Let's say he's in jail. Let's say all those things happen. We have to go vote. So what's the last step? What's the last step then? Mail-in ballots, migrants voting, no voter ID, and the states have to handle that. He can't handle it. The states have to handle that. And I really wish they would start really getting a grip on it. I always say, why can't we have clear ID for voting? Like, I go to the airport, I have clear ID. I go in there, they scan my eyes. Yep. I got one ticket. I vote. That's it. No one's screwing with it. The machines aren't shut down.
Isn't that machine racist, though?
I was just going to say,
make you feel
Alina,
like
you're talking about IDs. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news.
Offensive,
it's racist because apparently the left thinks black people in Georgia don't know how to get IDs. So that's racist to think that they would know how to get.
Guess what? Then are you actually prepared to vote for the person who's running your country, making economic decisions, keeping us out of war, things like that? Like, look, there has to be a level. There's a reason we don't allow children to vote. You know, you have to be smart. And at the end of the day, not everyone's always going to be included. It's America. We're not, you know, we have rules, we have laws, we have regulations. We can't act like those regulations make you a racist, make you, you're not saying the correct pronoun, therefore you hate humanity. Like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, Alina, this ID situation, we don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but it boggles my mind. Yeah. I got to show my ID if I'm going to buy liquor. I got to show my ID if I'm going to go to a club. I got to anything. You need ID. Yeah. Sorry. Voting? Like, the number one thing that you could do as a citizen is vote.
Yeah, I think that's
why is it such a sticking point where it's racist to have an ID? You can't expect people to have IDs. Because they can't cheat. I don't understand the ID bullshit.
You can't cheat.
Exactly.
You can't cheat.
Oh my God.
You can't cheat. It's very simple. Why can't we get ID to vote for the president of this country? Well, we can, but they don't want us to.
Yeah, that's why the border has been for the past 4 years. As we speak right now, Alina, the border completely open, 8 million people in. And guess what? Those people, when they come in, you know what they tell them? Joe Biden did this, Democrat. Go in.
They probably give them a voting thing when they pass go and go like, you're going to check blue.
Yeah.
Okay?
They give them a cell phone.
This is why you're here. Here's your cell phone. Here's a hotel room in New York.
100%.
And here's your voting. Here's your ballot. I want you to take this and maybe 3 more copies, put it in the mail, and you're going to help us steal the election.
I agree.
I think that's what could be happening.
Yep.
I do.
Can I go back to what Pat was discussing with the Supreme Court? Because this is really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try this, by the way.
Yeah, go for it. Vault, it'll jack you up.
And it's cucumber, so you're Middle Eastern. You're going to love it.
So the Supreme Court, right?
It's really good.
The Supreme Court. We've seen what's happened in Colorado. That was a month or so ago. Yeah. Maine is a week ago, whatever it is. You know, Rob pulled up the image of, there's a dozen other states that are considering moving Trump on the ballot. I think 17 to be exact.
Right.
So walk us through what it means to be the Supreme Court, because they're not going to hear all these court cases.
No, they'll make one decision.
Exactly.
Yeah, they'll make one
decision. So they're going
decision.
to set a national precedent, law of the land. Here's what I learned about the Supreme Court from PBD, and kudos to PBD. 2020, Pat starts a podcast. We're doing it. They're talking about, you guys don't understand how big of a deal it is that they flipped these Supreme Court justices. Yeah. And then we started hearing things like, well, Democrats, Joe Biden's going to pack the court. They're going to pack the court, right? There's 9 justices. Is that what it is? Yeah. Well, they're going to go up to 11. They're going to go up to 13. People are like, how the hell do you even pack the court?
They wanted to add.
I'm like, what the hell is this even all about? The Supreme Court packing the court? We're learning things. We're like, what is this going down here? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a 6-3, right? So, you know, there's a liberal side of things. You've got Sotomayor, and you've got Kagan, and then you have sort of the right. You got the Clarence Thomases of the world, and you got the Alitos of the world. But then you have sort of, let's just say, more moderate, whether it's Comey Barrett, or whether it's Gorsuch, or whether it's the Supreme Court Justice Roberts, whatever. But at the end of the day, Trump appointed the people who are the moderates, the Gorsuch, the Amy Comey Barrett. Yeah. So if this does go to the Supreme Court, walk us through how this works, the vision of this, because it's 6-3.
Listen, this is what's going to happen. It's not really about the other states, right? You asked me about these other states could do it. It's not going to matter at this point because we just, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, filed with the Supreme Court for Colorado. Maine, obviously, on appeal. But one decision needs to be made because they're all trying, and Maine tried to do it under some small section, I guess, or whatever it is. But we just have to have acknowledgement as to what the rules and regulations are here. To me, it's not something I'm worried about because it's so obvious. It's so clear cut. There's due process. There's an antiquated and completely misplaced 14th Amendment being used. There's just basics here that haven't happened, that a decision that he could be off the ballot at this point, right, to me, would be mind-blowing. So I'll be honest with you. You obviously have concerns about all the other states, and I don't. I think the Supreme Court is going to see it. I'm not worried about if you're moderate or if you're left, because I think this is one of those really clear-cut constitutional issues that should just be hands down.
And how can you remove someone from ballot? Like Supreme Court, he hasn't been found guilty of everything. You can think that it was an insurrection all you want.
Yeah, it was a headline for them, and
sure,
I think
but
that
he hasn't been found guilty of anything.
He hasn't even been charged with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
so
never mind guilty. You're not even charged.
That's my point here. So, like, you talk about due process.
That's why I'm not concerned.
He hasn't been charged. He hasn't been found guilty. None of it.
Right.
But
it's
how do they remove someone from a ballot?
You're struggling to understand something because it's a point of desperation.
Listen, guys, we're working on it.
You know why?
Do you know why? We're trying to outlast things.
Because facts, common sense don't apply. So think desperation, and that will get you there.
Hail Mary.
You know what I would say to you, to me, this is going to end up making for one of the greatest movies you'll ever watch in 10 years. I know. Okay, wow. I'm telling you right now.
I know.
10 years.
I always say that. Yeah. I'm like, is there going to be a documentary, you think?
I think it's going to be a movie or a doc. And if it's a doc, it'll be like a 2-season type of deal. But because what could end up happening, history's going to, validate.
History will be kind to him.
No, Churchill said, history will be kind to me for I intend to write it, right? So he's writing it. But the part that you have to be also thinking about is, he's not campaigning right now. He's not out there. But this may be by far the biggest campaign donation help in the world, if you think about it.
Yeah.
One time, Joe, when they were going after Joe, Rogan, when he's comments he made 15 years ago when he was 4 years old or whatever, there was something Joe said this and Joe said that. And I made a video. I said, do you guys realize, I was counting all the views on how much media wrote. I said, do you know how much it would cost you to get this kind of media press?
Yeah.
I said nearly $300 million, okay? I said, Joe ought to send a thank you letter to everybody saying, thank you for giving me $300 million of free coverage. How much free coverage is Trump getting? What is the difference between what they're doing today versus 2015, 2016, when everybody wanted to have him on and just trash him, right? CNN, MSNBC, everybody was having him on, and all of a sudden, like, guys, we've been giving them a lot of eyeballs. Yeah, we got to stop this, knock it off. And what's going to happen? So anyway, that's
that happened here too. Don't forget this year with Fox, they didn't have us on for a while.
That's right. And you guys are now doing that. And by the way, are you still the senior advisor for Trump Super PAC MAGA? Are you still an advisor?
No, I am actually now. No, I'm not involved with MAGA Inc. I am actually the general counsel and spokeswoman for the Save America PAC.
Okay, got it. So you're the GC. You're the GC dealing with them legal
I'm the GC. Side. Yeah, I thought I would just be the GC, and then all of a sudden I was back on trial, and I was like, but I love what I do, and if he needs me there, that's what I do.
Great. So the reason why I asked this question is this. So CNN is doing a Republican debate, okay, which somehow, some way, a guy who, is very eloquent, great communicator, didn't make it, didn't qualify. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy. And DeSantis made it, and Haley made it, and Trump made it. Obviously, Trump's not going to be there because he's doing a town hall same day with...
He doesn't need to be.
He doesn't need to be. He's going to be doing that with Fox.
Right.
So what do you think about, Vivek, calling out Ronna McDaniel, and then now CNN is saying you're not qualified to be on stage, and it's just going to be Haley and DeSantis. How much games plays behind closed doors that the average voter doesn't know about?
A lot. I mean, they play games with me. It's a lot. They feel like they're in this position of power. I always say, think of the media like you have a Napoleon complex, okay? And they use their little strength. And CNN, by the way, has very little strength right now. But they'll use their little strength. And they'll say, I'm not putting you on and that'll hurt you. Like, it's the same thing as the lawsuits. Wake up. You're not hurting Vivek. You're helping Vivek. Because now he's going to have some little microphone on Instagram or whatever. And he will get more attention because he's been excluded.
Yeah.
Then just put the guy on. Let them do what they want. Invite them all, but they're so short-sighted. Honestly, I don't understand the thinking because it's so small-minded, and the numbers have shown. The more you try and exclude, the more you try and pound them down, the more their numbers go up. It's just silliness.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have
But there is gamesmanship because you'll call them out. They don't like to be called out.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.